Anthony Albanese did not suddenly become this kind of prime minister in 2022. The broken promises, the buried qualifiers, and the gap between the sales pitch and your lived reality did not begin at the lodge. What you are watching now is the national-scale version of a political pattern that reaches back decades. It is the Albanese formula. Headline first, mess later. Survival first, clarity last. He was not built in business, he was not built in industry. He joined the Labour Party in 1979 and rose through the NSW Labour apparatus. His first great political skill was not leadership, it was survival, tactical repositioning, internal management. He entered Parliament in 1996 as Labour was being smashed nationally, and he learned how to stay standing while the room changed around him. He was sold as hard left, anti-privatisation, anti-war, anti-hegemony. But those harder edges softened whenever power required a pivot. Principle, until power says otherwise, that is the machine way. As infrastructure minister, he marketed nation building. The headline was stimulus. The reality was rushed politics that ended in scandal. The home insulation program, 4 deaths, and brought a royal commission. The school halls program became synonymous with billions in waste. In 2009, he approved 31 out of 55 projects that his own experts rejected. Major projects were sold as bold delivery, but too often the pattern was the same. Sell the ambition, commission the paper. Push the hard consequence down the road. Then there was high-speed rail. He spent $20 million on studies and didn't lay a single inch of track. Western Sydney Airport became commitment without the hard decision. It was announcement over achievement. After the 2019 loss, he sharpened that instinct into the small target strategy. Strip away policy risk, reduce detail, mute exposure. So when the 2022 campaign exposed gaps on the cash rate and the NDIS, those were not just awkward mistakes. They were the gaps showing in a political model built to avoid detail until power was secured. Then he became prime minister, and the same method scaled up to the whole country. He sold cost of living competence, but households kept getting hammered. He sold surpluses as proof of discipline, while the deeper structural weakness remained. He sold the $275 power promise, then delivered rebates instead of the promise itself. He sold renewables as certainty, while the lived result was mixed. Bottlenecks, grid strain, and bills that did not match the pitch. He sold housing targets while affordability stayed brutal. He sold migration planning, while pressure kept landing on a housing market and service system already under strain. He sold stronger Medicare while many still felt it was harder and more expensive to see a doctor. He sold the voice as leadership and turned it into one of the biggest judgment failures of his career. He sold integrity, then wore secrecy fights, union scandal, and transparency criticism, then the biggest half-story of all. On March 13, 2026, a parliamentary inquiry revealed the truth. The government never modeled the impact of 1.2 million migrants on your housing or your hospitals. They let migration rip while you were squeezed out. And that 3% defense spend, it's an accounting trick. Adding pensions and super into the bucket to hide $5 billion in secret cuts to our actual frigates and vehicles. He's counting your veterans' welfare to make the capability numbers look better. That is the real Albanese story. Not random failure, not one bad term. A repeated political method. Headline first, mess later, survival first, clarity later. He is a master of political survival, but the cost of living and the country's fragility are the price Australians pay. Read the fine print. The pattern was always there.